Okay, hi guys, and welcome to the show. And you join us in the interrogation room with my good friend GCR. How are you, sir?
Doing well, and yourself?
Very well, thank you.
Good.
So now, before we get into this video, I have a few things I want to address. First of all, our good friend Ace,
great guy,
who was in Florence, sent me this beautiful card. This is a clock that's in the Duomo in Florence.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
He's been traveling in Europe, and you've seen his.
Yeah, I'm friends with him on Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing posts. Doing wristwatch. Yeah, amazing. Wristwatch checks all over the place. And guys, there's a really interesting story about this clock in the Duomo, because I think it's Panerai, who were also they were founded in Florence. Right?
I believe so. Yeah.
They funded the restoration of this clock.
Really?
Well, yeah.
Makes sense then.
Yeah, and also it's very special to me because. I bought my engagement rings to my wife in a little jewelry store opposite the Duomo. So,
that's amazing.
Yeah, so thank you, Ace.
Great job, Ace.
Yeah, and I hope you had a fantastic trip. Now, secondly, I received two other cards.
What's that over there?
This is a quartz Seiko. There, I'll do some close-ups for you guys, and this is one of the first pulsar LED pulsars.
God, yeah.
And they're both from the Bond movies with Roger Moore.
I have a Ben Russ.
Do you?
It's a lot like that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And this is from Mike B, so shout out to Mike B. So thank you very, very much for these beautiful cards. And we will be covering Roger Moore hopefully soon. I'll do another live show with Duncan from the UK. So yeah, thank you so much for these. And yeah, wristwatch check. Now you were actually talking of Bond. You're wearing
perfect segue.
Yeah. You're wearing the original Bond watch.
Yes, you and Duncan inspired me.
Right.
So I went hunting, and I have the Gruen Precision 510.
That is gorgeous.
And it is it's obviously not the same one he wore, but it is that watch.
And it's got the sub dial at.
The sub dial there for the second hand. It's in great condition. I got it. From a good friend, gold filled too.
And what is the diameter on that one?
34 millimeter. Manual wind.
Lovely.
And it's just, you could hear it. It's in great condition. Yeah. I really got lucky with this. I mean, I need to change the strap. I'm like a little kid in a candy store when I get a new watch. Yeah. And a lot of these vintage watches, when you buy them, they're not on the best straps.
Right.
But I just wanted to wear it
as
soon as possible.
No, you should.
But I need to put something really, sexy on this.
Something classy.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
I was going to say, because I didn't.
What movie? And now you guys know more about the Bond series than I do.
It was in the.
I don't know what movie.
It was Dr. No. It was the very first scene. I think it was an opening. Sean Connery was playing cards. He says the infamous line, "Bond, James Bond."
And he's wearing.
Yeah, he's wearing before. This is before he switched to the sub later on in the film.
But it shows you, like me, I'm not I appreciate Bond, but I'm not a Bond fanatic.
Right.
But still, just because there's a story behind a watch.
Yeah.
I want to buy it.
That's going to increase in value because Gruen don't exist anymore.
It's great. I mean, I couldn't believe the quality. I couldn't believe the condition.
It's timeless. That is, forgive the pun, but it's timeless. It's very classic and it's extremely elegant.
Yeah, I love it.
And it's funny because my wristwatch check is a remarkably similar watch from, I think, a little bit earlier. This is 1950s. I presume that's 60s.
Yeah, late 50s, early 60s.
So I got my little Omega Marble on.
I love that strap you have it on.
Yeah, it's. I think it was a Hirsch. Sorry, Hadley Roma.
Beautiful. Yep.
And it's got a charm about it.
It really does.
It reminds me of The Great Gatsby. It has that kind of classic style.
No, I agree. I love it.
Oh, I almost forgot. There was one comment from Fortis I wanted to address about the classic Cosmo chronograph that I just reviewed. Fortis actually left a comment.
Awesome.
And they said, amazing video, awesome intro. We just wanted to state 2 points. Number one, the final version of this model, the pushers are screwed down. The one reviewed, which is the one they lent me, was a prototype.
Oh.
Yeah, so, I mean, now I really want to keep it,
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's got to go back, obviously, because it's very, very special being a prototype. In that video, I presumed this was the final release, but the pushers are screwed down. And secondly, they answered the question because a lot of people asked, why do you need an automatic watch in space. Because the Speedmaster, obviously from Omega being manual wind.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really answer that question. I'm not a physicist. It makes my brain hurt to even start, But apparently, according to Fortis, and I presume, obviously they did all the tests.
Yeah, of course.
The question was, why does an automatic chronograph work in space? The rotor works even better in space because there is no gravity that breaks the rotor from turning. Obviously, it still has manual wind. I have been enjoying this, and of course, I've put it on an orange NATO strap immediately. As soon as I did the review, I was like, I can finally take the strap off. I put it on orange to match the orange hands.
Awesome.
And yeah, I love it. And you've been borrowing the other cosmonaut, the real, the hard as nails.
That's built like a spaceship.
Yeah.
I mean, that's quality right there.
Yeah.
And really heavy.
Yeah. So anyway, shout out to Fortis, and thank you so much for responding to those questions.
Siete fortissimi.
Fortissimi, esatto. Right. So, what I thought we'd do today, 3 crushes each. Right.
This is really hard for me to do.
Really?
Oh, I mean, you have so many watch crushes.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. Because I was going to say, you seem to have a crush every 2 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. And these 3, I think, are pretty good.
Okay, so we picked 3 each. Would you like to go first?
Sure. The first one is really a recent crush, and it's because I've been, starting to follow them a bit on Instagram and seeing pictures of these beautiful vintage pieces.
Right.
And you know me, I love history.
Yes.
I'm a big history buff, and I love the fact that this company, and this is probably going to give away the name now of the company, is the oldest watchmaker in the world.
Ah, we know who that is. Yes. Yeah. So
Gallet.
Of course.
So I am in love with the Gallet multi-chron yachting.
Oh, yes.
It's the larger size one.
Right.
It's like a 37 millimeter, because there's a smaller, I think it's a 34 or 35 millimeter.
Right.
But the larger one, and it's just stunning.
But I mean, Gallet have done so many first waterproof chronograph. If you read their history, it's just
stunning,
ridiculous.
I'm upset at myself that I didn't know about them sooner.
Yeah.
Because then I probably wouldn't have bought a couple of other watches and just saved up for this one right now.
Right.
But I mean, I think the one I'm looking at, or the one I'm thinking of, is 1947, 48.
Right, nice.
So, I mean, that's a long,
Well, what's the movement?
It is an EP 40.68.
Okay.
That's I've been doing a little bit of research on them.
Right.
So it's a manual wind chronograph movement.
Nice. So I presume it's a column wheel.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
It's just a stunning. You've seen pictures.
Yes.
And you'll probably show pictures of
right.
it. It's just a stunning piece.
Cool.
And we were actually saying that Junghans.
Oh yes.
Has some resemblance. To it a bit.
We were looking at this magazine. I have reviewed actually this Junghans a while ago.
Which is a stunning watch.
The chronoscope, the Meister Telemeter chronoscope.
Yeah, not the Max Bill. It's
So this is the design of this is obviously.
Some of the Gallets have a similar look to that.
So what is it that draws you about the Gallet?
The history, the dial, the chronograph. I mean, it's a compilation of things, but it's definitely the history and the dial. I love that dial. It's gorgeous.
The 2 subdials.
2 subdials, the way they're set up, the way they're proportioned. I just think it's a beautiful watch.
Right.
And the history, really, for me, that really just ends it right there.
Nice.
The oldest watchmaker in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just.
You've been quite taken by chronographs recently.
I have.
With the Zin.
I gotta time my pasta.
Yeah. Of course.
No, but I have. I have a thing for chronographs lately, I think.
Right. Actually, that leads into my first choice as well, because it's also a chronograph. Completely different. I don't know if you saw the post on the Facebook recently, but Oris are celebrating their 40th anniversary association or sponsors of the Williams team in Formula One.
Okay, yep.
I was unaware they had such a long-standing relationship.
I knew, I'd heard about it.
Right.
Yep.
I didn't realize it was 40 years. And to commemorate, they're reissuing a classic chronograph that they used to make from the 70s, the Oris. It's the original was, I think, the Oris Star Oris. Very, very 70s, and typical of the era of kind of Octavia cases and Hoyle were making the Monaco, and it was the golden era of racing chronographs, right? Mm-hmm. Lots of bright colors, curvaceous, kind of exaggerated cases. Anyway, so they have brought a new one out. I'm not actually taken by the new one because it's got this kind of blue and black color scheme. Mm-hmm. The original was oranges and blacks, and My favorite actually is the 2005 re-edition.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because it's got a 40mm case. You can pick them up on the used market for not very much. It is a Valjoux.
I was going to ask if it was a Valjoux.
Yeah, it's a 7750, of course.
Nice.
But Oris have added their own module, a little bit more unique.
I love Oris.
Yeah.
And I love that about Oris.
Yeah.
They add just the right amount of their own taste to some of these movements.
Absolutely.
You know, I love that. You know, especially also the red rotors that they put in.
Right, yes.
I love
It's got all of that.
I love that.
But the most ingenious feature, which is typical of Oris, they have their own, I think it's called the quick lock screw down crown. It literally locks with one turn.
Wow.
And it's
That's
a little
great.
innovation that, very subtle. I think this is exclusive to that particular chronograph. It's very much a wild card watch, but there's something about it's fun, and I kind of want it. And also, I want another Oris in the collection. It's
you know, I don't have an Oris in my collection.
Have you ever had an Oris?
I've never owned an Oris. And
we have to change that.
We do. We do. And I've been actually staring at a few, and they're actually not even on this Watch Crush list.
Right.
I should have added 4, but there's a few that I'm looking at.
Yeah. The thing is, I mean, if we do 3 each, we might be able to fit this in a half-an-hour video. If we did our 10 watch crushes, we'd be here, you know, need extra lights.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like a forgotten icon. I think Oris is so underrated.
They really are.
Yeah.
You know, they really are. It's just a great brand. The more and more research I do on them, the videos I've seen that you've done of a few, I really, you know what I really miss, and you know, you showed it to me once, was the Oris moon phase that you had.
Oh yeah, don't.
You shouldn't have sold that.
Don't tell me about that. Don't tell me about that.
That was a beautiful little piece.
I know.
I mean, the Aquis. Listen, there's so many Aquises you could always get one. But that I even feel like, is that moon phase hard to find?
It is, yeah. I know. Thing is that I
hope it funded something.
Yes, it funded.
What did it fund?
That's the thing. I can't remember what it funded. It went towards something important. You know, I don't sell anything unless I know it's going to be towards something that I really, really want.
Of course.
You know, I just can't keep everything. Otherwise,
no.
I mean, if I was filthy rich, I would. But then again, would I enjoy it? You know, I think part of it is missing it, and part, you know,
True.
it makes
and
it
you've
more,
said that in your videos.
Yeah.
You know, and same thing with me with some of my watches that I haven't worn in a while. You know, you put them on, it's the love affair restarts.
Yeah. So tell me about your next one.
So the next one is actually also very recent, but you know, I've always had a thing for aviation pieces.
Right.
My Zin.
Of course.
But this is a different.
Which I'm going to do a duel with the Navi timer. So stay tuned.
I handed that over to you.
Yeah.
Take good care of it.
You're not getting it back.
It's a beautiful piece.
Yeah, it is.
And now on the bracelet too. So I've always been fond of aviation pieces. So Zin, you know, obviously that's more busy aviation piece. But I've become taken by Stowa recently.
Oh, nice.
And they've come out with some limited edition pieces.
Right, and that, I mean, when you say aviation Stowa, it's, you can't get more classic than that, really.
No.
I mean, the Flieger, right?
Yes.
Of course.
And not the limited edition, because they don't have it in the 40mm anymore. I tried to navigate their website, and you know, I tried to see if they still had it. It doesn't seem like they have it in the 40mm.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to do a 36mm aviation piece. I'll do a smaller piece on a vintage watch, but on something like that, aviation, I think it needs to be bigger, especially for me.
Yeah.
So I came up with the Stowa Flieger, no logo, 40mm.
Wow, very classic.
40mm. It's the Classique.
I think
it
I
is.
reviewed that a while ago.
Oh, that's the one. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's the one you reviewed.
Yeah.
It's Classique.
I'll put a link. Called. Yeah, right. Yes. Yeah. You know, Stowa were one of, I think, 5 companies that actually were officially chosen to supply watches for the German Air Force.
Yes, I mean, you mentioned it in that video.
And it's a little bit controversial. Obviously, it's controversial, but you have to bear in mind that that was their government at the time. They had no.
Yeah, I mean, they
choice.
had.
Adds to the provenance.
Yeah, it was the official choice of that, you know,
that era.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful piece.
Yeah,
and they really have kept the style very true. The sizes are different though, because if you remember, those older pieces were massive.
Yeah.
55mm.
Yeah.
I couldn't even believe that.
Yeah.
You imagine you wearing that? You'd tip over like you did in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Very
You'd fall out of the truck.
Yeah, very true.
But no, seriously, I mean, the 55mm, I mean, that's crazy. But I mean, they were a tool and they served a purpose, and there was a reason why they were that large.
So, modified ETA?
Yes, modified ETA 2824.
Nice.
And I think there's a 2801 as well.
Yeah.
So
are you getting it because you know on the website you can customize it?
Yes. So I'm going to do no logo, as I mentioned a few seconds ago.
Very nice.
No logo, no name, nothing. I love the clean look. Display back, yes.
So I think they decorate the movement.
They do,
Nice.
and you have the option to do manual wind as well. Manual. I mean, I really love that. That's so amazing that they do that.
Yeah, that is why Stowa are embracing the future. You go onto their online boutique, you can order to anywhere in the world.
Amazing. Shout out to Stowa, by the way.
Yeah,
That's really cool stuff.
They're doing it right. They're doing classic watches that have a strong heritage behind them, but at the same time you order it in the 21st century way. And then you can, I think they even do custom engraving. You can get, if you want something on the case back, if you go case back, all kinds of things, the straps.
And the prices are great.
Yeah.
And it's a quality, well-made piece.
Yeah.
I mean, and the price is great. Even with all those customizations that you just spoke about. I mean,
absolutely.
Beautiful piece. I love it.
Right, I'm going to go with my next choice, and it's something completely different. It's a G-Shock from Casio.
What? That was kind of right threw me off.
Actually, I mentioned it in another video. It's the Frogman.
Oh, you did mention it. Okay.
Yeah, and this is why it's a bit of a weird choice because it's massive.
How big is it?
It's 48 or 40.
Oh wow,
it's massive. It also has this asymmetrical case. It's another purpose-built diving watch. It has this kind of industrial military look with these pushers that they look like buttons on some kind of futuristic device.
I gotta look. I don't think I've ever seen this one.
Oh,
check it out.
That's the thing.
Gotta go to the G-Shock store in Soho.
Yeah. Wow, this is the Master G. It's the GF1000. Inside we've got the 3185 module. So, and this is the thing. It has
manual wind. Imagine manually winding a G-Shock.
Yeah, actually that would be really cool.
Be like a bomb.
Yeah.
It's setting a bomb.
Yeah. Imagine that.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, you manually power it up, but then it powers digital.
Hey.
Someone should try that.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
That's
we may have an idea here.
Yeah. It's a dive watch, right?
Yeah.
You have a dive time, like a chronograph, and you can log your dives.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
What I like about it, it has a tide graph and a moon phase.
What?
Yeah.
I have to see this.
Yeah, but the moon phase it's not like a moon phase like in a dress watch sense. It's a moon phase because obviously it affects diving. It's 200 meter water resistant. I think actually I remember now that the diameter is 50 millimeters. So yeah, it's completely ridiculous. That's the thing, but I'm still drawn to it. It has these little rivets on the outside that give it this kind of hard as nails.
How could you dive with such a big watch? I'm like, you're gonna be like,
Well, that's the thing. It's most of it is resin,
No, of course, it's light. So
it does have a screw down case back, which is very
screw down.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it has kind of traits of traditional dive watches, but it still very much is a G-Shock. And actually, I think if you really were going to dive, I can't dive because of my lungs, but if you really were going to dive, wear something like that.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's
that is
practical than anything.
Yeah.
Not practical, but I mean, you look at that piece, that's for diving.
Exactly. Even the buttons are designed for, you can't knock the buttons to disrupt the timing. You have to hold it down for I think 1 or 2 seconds. So even that kind of thinking it's built for task. And that's what I kind of like about it, That's what I find appealing.
Yeah, because it's built for a purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
I know you like that with a lot of these watches. I agree.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Okay, so let's move on to your last choice.
Yes.
So tell me, what are you lusting after?
So this particular watch, it doesn't exist in the form that I want it in.
Okay.
It exists currently. It's the Rolex Coke bezel. So as I said, that does exist.
Oh, I know where this is going.
You know
ceramic,
where it's going.
right?
Yes. Right now it's aluminum. I would love for them to come out with a ceramic version like the Batman.
Right, like the Batman. So I'll put an image because I think there have been predictions of this watch.
It's been rumored for a while, I think, for the last few years that in Basel World Rolex may introduce.
I'm surprised they didn't.
But anyway, I'm lusting after it. Even though it doesn't exist yet, so Rolex, please.
So let me guess. the Coke color scheme has got to do with.
Well, you know why.
Right.
I think some viewers commented.
Oh, your glasses.
My glasses are red and black.
Yeah.
So that would match my Coke bezel,
of course,
Rolex,
which matches
AC Milan, which is my favorite soccer team. So
right.
Forza Milan to anybody liking AC Milan.
Nice
out there.
I like that. That's cool.
So there's again, you know me. I like for there to be some sort of a storyline to why I purchase things, and that has a storyline for me personally. And actually, there was a special edition GMT Coke bezel made for AC Milan several years back.
By Rolex?
By Rolex.
Really?
They worked with AC Milan and they made for the players only though.
This is pre-ceramic?
Pre-ceramic, yes, pre-ceramic.
Wow.
For the players only.
Oh, did they put the logo on the dial?
Yes, I think I showed it to you once.
Yeah.
Actually, I posted it on my Instagram.
Right, very nice.
So, yeah,
that is cool.
Yep.
They must be worth an absolute fortune.
That one is impossible to find because it was made for players.
Because the watch doesn't exist, or maybe it does, and Rolex haven't.
That's what I'm hoping for.
I presume it'd be the same movement. What's the movement in the Batman?
I believe it's the caliber 3186.
3186.
Yep.
Right.
And we presume that it would be the same.
Yeah.
The GMT function, you know.
Yeah. So why not the? Well, obviously not the.
Well, you know why though? I wouldn't get the Batman. So if the guys out there and ladies too, if you know why I like the Coke bezel AC Milan, the Batman has the colors of Inter of Milan, which are our city rivals.
Right,
so you know, I don't have anything bad to say about you know Inter, and their fans, but you know, still, I can't buy that.
Yeah.
As much as I actually do think the color scheme is cool.
Yeah.
Batman, but I just can't do it. I could never do it.
Yeah. It all makes sense now.
It does. You know, I'm a big footy guy.
But that's going to be really expensive.
Yeah, so I will have to sell a couple of things.
Yeah. Well, you got a lot to sell.
Yeah, I'd have to fund that some way, but I would make it happen. Yeah. Immediately, actually. I think I honestly would pull the trigger right away.
Right. Interesting. And why the you know, well, obviously the ceramic is a lot more scratch resistance. You said it doesn't fade with the sunlight, but is there anything else? Because it's going to have that chunkier case, it's going to have the chromolite, it's going to have the modern upgrades. Is that also a part of the equation? Or?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, and the fact that I know I'm not going to be in the sun all the time and diving with it all the time. So how long would it really take to fade?
Yeah.
It's psychological.
But it's got to stay red though, hasn't it?
It has to stay red.
Yeah.
I can't have the thing turn pink.
Yeah, because that's
nothing against pink, but that's another team.
Perfect.
It's got to stay red.
Perfect.
It's got to stay red.
Rossoneri. Right. Okay. So I'm going to do my last choice, and I bet you about 1,000 people out there are going to roll their eyes.
I don't even know what this one is. You didn't tell me these beforehand. So.
Well, recently we've seen Omega bring out a new 38mm Speedmaster. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, what do you think? What do you think? Whenever there's a new watch, I don't want to give my first impressions because often, like the Rolex Air King, I think the last Air King that came out, I either really don't like it and then I warm to it, or I warm to it immediately and then I don't like it. So
that happens to me.
You know, it's changed, and I have to see the new 38mm in the flesh. Mm-hmm. I am happy that Omega are finally bringing out a Speedmaster in a more for the smaller wrist, but there hasn't been any clear statement as is this for women, is this for men. Some of the blinged out ones obviously are probably aimed at the female wearers. Yep. But there is a black one. I'm not like mad about it, but then again I could try it on in the store and have a holy moment and it could just
and that always happens.
That happens as well.
All the time.
However, it did get me thinking about Speedmasters again. And it's the age-old thing.
Why did you sell your others? You should have just kept one in the collection for.
Yeah, that's the thing is that
it's a pillar in my opinion, and I don't even have one, but I'm trying to get one.
I think I want to go back to one of the first reduced I have.
Why don't you get that moon phase one that you've been talking about?
That's the thing. It's 42mm. I've got to try on. I've got to make sure. And also, it's a relatively new model. It's going to be substantially more expensive, even though the reduced are going up. Mm-hmm. If anything, they're going to keep going up. For me, it's between the 35, 39, 50, which is the newer sapphire glass, upgraded clasp, the 100-meter water resistance, the cleaner dial, and then of course there's the older 351050, which is the classic kind of reduced with the minutes on the inner part of the dial. It has the Hesselite, of course, slightly dated stamped clasp. The lower, I think it's 30 meters water resistant.
Oh, only 30 meters?
Yeah. I don't mind either. I think
that one's going to be cheaper though.
Yes, it's going to be substantially, but they're both of them. I think the newer sapphire one is over 2 now, in the 2 to 3 grand, and the classic reduced is now nearing £2,000 for a really good one. Still pick them up on the used market from Japan. There's still plenty of them left. It's just the price is going up.
Yeah.
And I just feel, you know, I had the Shumi for a while, and that was very, very fun. There's just something about the monochromatic, and I know it's not the classic moon going speedy, but for me, it fits my scale, and it does. When I put it on, I do feel that. I feel like it's a Speedmaster.
Exactly.
So it has the caliber 1140, which has the Dubuis Depart 2020 module, the chronograph module attached to it. There has been, you know, the negative is that they're quite expensive to service and repair because of the complexity of that movement. But you know, I'm willing to accept it. I've owned it before. It's not an issue.
You know what to expect.
Yeah, I know what to expect.
Exactly.
So.
Have you been seriously looking?
Yeah, I catch myself every month. I go and look at prices and I consider it, and then I think, well, if I buy it, am I really going to wear it? Because I go to my Navitimer. I go to my the Tissot, the Janeiro. Oh. The Janeiro really kind of killed off the Shumi for me. You know,
was that the watch that did it?
Yeah. Essentially, it's a $2,000 watch, and it's $2,000 sitting there when I could put it towards something I'm really going to wear. You know, it's the classic collector's predicament. You know,
I mean, we all go through it.
Yeah, and the solution, ironically, is if I was filthy rich, I would just keep everything.
Yep.
But then I wouldn't value anything. So it's we're stuck in this perpetual.
And that happens, I think, to a lot of people.
Right.
Like people that have various pieces like that.
Yeah.
They just
Actually, I know some friends of mine who have ridiculous, I mean, very well off people, affluent, you know, and they have a ridiculous collection, but they don't really value, they don't even know what model it is. They just have like
I've seen that so much
10 Rolexes, and they just
go to the Rolex AD, say, give me the newest Rolex.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, I love the Hulk, and they're like, what's the Hulk?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well, that green sub.
Oh, the green one. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, the green one. Oh, it's called a Hulk. You know.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's they're not really watch guys. Like,
No.
us,
And then you have those very, very filthy rich guys that wear Casio. You know.
Oh yeah.
They wear G-Shocks, or they just wear a calculator watch.
Yeah.
You know, so
that's kind of cool. I
like the
that.
Steve Jobs types.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Anyway, those are well.
What would be, so really quick, what would be the one that you would get next? Like, what's the
out of
closest?
my three?
Yeah.
Well, I hate to say it, that I don't think I'm going to go for the Frogman because it's too big. I think it's just it's a passing fad that I'm just going to have to, you know, I can't wear it. I mean, what am I going to do? Buy it, put it on the shelf to look at?
Yeah.
Realistically, probably the Oris.
It's a beautiful watch.
Yeah, because it's different, and I feel they're at a good price right now, used.
2005, you said, right?
Yeah, 2005 re-edition, and you know, it's a 40mm. Yeah. What about you? Tell me.
Well, I think I said this, the Stowa Flieger would be the definite choice, and that's probably going to happen in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I just love that watch.
So you're going to go for that one?
I am.
Nice.
But if that Rolex GMT comes out,
right.
And it's not going to come out probably until sometime this year.
Well, maybe the next Basel or something.
When's that, in October? No, March. Sorry, so next year.
Yeah.
So next year, hopefully, then I'll pull that. I'm telling you, I'll pull the trigger right away.
Cool.
I'll have to sell a couple of pieces, probably give you a call.
Do you mind if I review it?
Oh, of course.
That would be fantastic, yeah.
So I can't wait. I really want that watch.
Nice.
And hoping that Rolex delivers.
Nice. Okay, cool. Let's leave it there. Yeah. So guys, well, thank you so much for coming along.
Thank you, as always.
Prego. Please do comment on your top 3 watch crushes in the comments below. I'd really love to hear what you are saving up for. And if you want to do it in descending order, so number 1 is your most immediate crush or lust.
You know what's going to happen, right?
What?
We're going to look at their watch crushes and we're going to change our list.
Yeah.
You guys are going to change our list.
Yeah. So guys, do share your comments, thoughts, opinions, queries, all the rest of it down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, found it useful, and as always guys, we will catch you in the next one. Ciao.
Ciao guys.
Perfect.
Hey, great.
Nice, man.
Thank you.